So now I've got both of the legs done. So I'm going to move on to the arms. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to fill it to about the wrist area, just right in here somewhere. I'm going to fill it up. Down the hatch. The hands are, the toes are shorter, so it doesn't take as much manipulating, but since the hands are smaller, you kind of have to pinch it this way, like that. So it'll open up that vinyl a little bit, and it'll help the glass beads to get down in there further. But this whole thing really is a trial and error kind of process. You'll learn what you like. And, even though I have done this so many times, my babies are all weighted differently. I mean, I did the same things that I normally do. And once I get to the body, you'll understand exactly what I mean. But that stick comes in really handy for this part of it, because these little holes are small and it kind of hard, unless you have tiny fingers. I don't know, maybe you have tiny fingers. Do you have tiny fingers? This baby does. But I'm just pulling the polyfill apart to make it fluffier. And that's just what I do. You don't have to do that. I mean, it's just how I roll. That's just how I roll. Can you guys believe Tanya got me this baby? Isn't that just so, so cool? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys, some of you guys, pretty much all of you guys are stinking amazing. With all the bad people in the world, it's so nice to encounter people that are just kind for no reason. Tanya is kind to me for no reason, and I just think that's amazing. But see, now, compared to now, we have some weight. All right, and when the arms are bent like this, it sometimes, like the legs are kind of super bent, it does take a little bit of maneuvering to get the beads where you want them, but everything will find its proper place, that's for sure. But I would like to ask for everyone, if you could, to pray extra for Tanya. She needs some extra prayers. I call her Tanton. She was on one of my lives, and I asked her if her name was Tanya or Tanya, because, everybody pronounces their name a little different sometimes. And I was like, is it Tan or is it Ton? Tanton, Tan or Ton, Tan or Ton. And of course she told me, it was Tanya. And I don't know, the Tanton thing kind of stuck, so I've been calling her, I just threw glass beads everywhere. I've been calling her Tanton for almost pretty much since I've known her. There's too much. It does not take much with these beads. You start pouring and you're like, oh. And they don't have to be exact. I mean, if you have an idea of what you want, I mean, you can tell the difference in weight if it's more than 0.5, or no, if it's more than 0.3 ounces, you can definitely tell the difference in weight. Oh, her arm has more. Okay, I'm going to have to put more in here. I didn't realize I had that much in that one. Hers are actually weighted to right here. So, yeah, that's perfect. All right, so I'm going to keep on manipulating this, get those beads down in there. But I couldn't wait. I know that there are some people that I've heard people say, oh, my baby came in last week, but I've been busy, and I'm like, your baby's been sitting in a box for a week, you know, because I can't wait when that package comes, whether it's Happy Mail or a baby box opening, whatever, you know, like I have to open that box. I cannot leave it sitting there. It will drive me crazy. Like it really will. And it's not a far drive. I know it's not a far drive, but it's definitely something that makes me nuts. So, anyways, it's another little piece here. So, yeah, we're almost done with the limbs for now. All right. Packed down in there. All right, so those feel pretty good. They feel pretty much the same. Oh, I love these hands. Oh, I just love these hands. There's something about a little open hand on a baby that I just love it. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get her body, and we're going to start with making sure these zip ties go in the proper places. I don't know if some of them are different sizes. Sometimes they'll send short ones, like for the arms and the neck. Let's see if these are all the same size. And yes, these are all the same size, so it won't matter. So so you want to just, and these zip ties, the smooth back, the back of them are smooth, I should say. And then there's the teeth on the other side. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to take this smooth side and you'll have it on the outside when you feed it in. So here's the smooth side, and I'm just going to feed it into the hole and let it loop around here. And there's my other end. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick this in here, but that's it. That's all I'm going to do for now. So I'm going to do that with both of the legs. Smooth side on the back, and feed it through. And you'll need to know this if you're waiting, because you will have to pop your ties in order to do that. So with the baby's body laying on its back, you'll take your first leg. Make sure you have the right leg or the left leg, depending on which side it goes on. But make sure you have the proper limb on the proper side. I have almost put the wrong leg on the wrong side before. So, and I'm just putting this zip tie around here to where it's flush in that groove. And then I'm going to just tighten it up. I'm not going to tighten it all the way. I've left a gap. That may be as much as I tighten it, but what you see how it kind of puckers right here? You just need to gently just pull gently. Oh, I will have to tighten that more. You just gently pull like this, and it'll get that cloth where it needs to be. So then we'll do her other leg. She has some nice coloring. Like, they are really, really improving with their painting. Like, wow. They're almost not basic art babies anymore. Okay, check for puckers. Pull gently, like so. All right, we have the legs. And then we're going to repeat the process with the arms. So it's smooth side, and you're going to take it and feed it through the armhole. One zip. And then oh, it looks like they gave me an extra tie. Thank you. That's awesome. All right, so we got the limbs. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten this a little bit more so I don't have so much slack to pull up. So you just do the same thing you did with the leg, and you're going to put that around the groove there. And then we're going to tighten. Carefully tighten. Not too much, just gently tighten a little. Check for puckers. And then we'll move on to the next arm. All right. Feed it into the groove. Make sure it's around there good. And then we're going to tighten. Just remember, don't tighten too much. Just be gentle and easy. Check for puckers. All right, so that is that for the limbs right now. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of polyfill and I'm going to put down in her booty. I wish I could show you the inside of this, but alas, I cannot. Now, since this is a small baby, this baby will obviously be laying down. You're going to want the weight for your baby to be along its back. The weight will be along its back and in its bottom. If you were doing a larger baby, you're going to want to put the weight in the bottom part. You're going to have all your weight down here and nothing in the shoulders. But since this is a laying down baby, you're going to want the weight along the back, just along the back up here. All right, so I already have no, I don't know if I want to use these. These are poly pellets. And you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use these poly pellets for this baby. This actually came out of another baby. So I'm just going to get those down in there. She will be lighter because glass beads are heavier. So let me line this bag up in here. There's the top. I'm going to lose my scissors and my zip ties. So I'm just moving the bag around inside there, feeding it all the way down to her bottom. And then I'm going to hold her up, give her a little shake. And then I can continue to put some polyfill in. And since she is so tiny, she's only going to need one bag. I don't want her heavy at all. I just want her to have a little bit of weight to her, just enough that she's not empty, you know what I mean? So we're stuffing this in there. And when you get it all separated like that, it makes it easier to move it around because you want all this to be like as smooth as possible. And now I am going to put a very light layer of polyfill on her back. Just a very, very light layer so you don't feel so much of the beads. Move it down to her booty. Okay. So, inside the doll, if you can see in there, you've got the weight right here, and then your cotton on the top. And since she is such a tiny baby, I think that's probably all of the stuffing I'm going to put in. A little bit more up at the top here, around the neck hole, just a little more. And I don't want to stuff that down in there. If you want your babies to be floppy, that's another thing. You can put a small bag in the bottom and a small bag in the top, and that will cause your baby to flop back. But you don't want to jam that down in there. Not like with the limbs, you know. And I do have this. This is just a piece of felt. This actually came with another baby. But you can take this, a piece of felt, and you can put in the top like this, which will just help the head to not fall down inward. Okay, so now that we have done her body, I'm going to set her body aside. And we're going to get started with her head. Now, this is going to be a little bit tricky because I do have to do her magnet. But I'm going to make this work. So the first thing I'm going to do is, how am I going to do this? Let me think. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use my polyfill. I might not need that after all. But I'm just going to start stuffing it in her head. And I think I will use that. I'm trying to decide, because sometimes I do put bags in their heads with the smaller babies, but not always. I'm just going to see, I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to see how it works. Like this. I need, this is, you will need something to, if you're doing the head like this, you will need something to get the head arranged up inside there. And you're going to want the weight in the back of the head, not up here or in the top. You're going to want the weight in the back. So, I don't know if you can see up in there. You can kind of see the weight right there. And then I'm going to continue to stuff this polyfill in there, because I want her head to expand back out the way it's supposed to be. And I will deal with the magnet in a moment. It's going to be a pain in the butt, I'll just tell you. And I don't know, generally the magnets are already in there. You know, to be honest with you, I don't care if she has a magnet, but I want to show you guys how to do it. So I will give her a magnet, but I might use all my polyfill on this baby. We'll have to see. Okay. Actually, I'm going to take some of this out because my idea is not going to work. All right. Let me push this back in here. I just need a clear path to the mouth. I ended up taking out all the polyfill. The only thing that's in there is the bag. All right. I'm going to make it work like this. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I have her magnet and her pacifier. So, I'm going to take my glue, and this is probably not the right way to do this. This is just the way that I do this. I have to wait for my glue to get to the bottom. It's like a hourglass or something. Come on. So I'm going to take her head and hold the bag back. But I'm going to squirt some glue in there. With light behind it, you can kind of see where her mouth is. So I'm just squirting some glue in there. And now what I'll do is I'm going to hold her pacifier up to her mouth. And I'm going to drop the magnet in. So now I will move the magnet to exactly where I want it. Now, the magnet, the pacifier needs to stay on the mouth. You cannot take it off, okay? Not right now. So let me move that up just a little bit. Not too close to her nose, though. Okay. So, this is a messy, messy project. So, with her binky still in place, making sure that that stays there, I'm just going to take and, woo, I'm going to put some more glue in there. Making sure that the glue is falling on the magnet. This is a little tricky, but you can do it. Okay. It does really, really help to have a bright light behind you, or, you know, on the other side of it. All right, so now that I have that in place, normally I would let this head dry overnight before I did anything with it, but I do want to get on with this, so I'm going to go ahead and put the polyfill in. I got glue everywhere. Well, it'll wash out. It's washable. Thank goodness. All right, I just don't want that glue on my baby's body. Right, so my polyfill, I'm gonna have to be very careful doing this. So, because I want to kind of keep her head downward, but at the same time, I don't want to rake across that magnet and move it.